Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
It's Monday night. The Sports Hounds are live from the Real Talk Studios, Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. I'm Rob Brinkman. He's Brad Ryer. Frank Vesby producing as usual. As always, the Sports Hounds are brought to you each and every Monday night by Gibson Mayer LLC. There are certified accountants. Make them yours too. For all information about their services, visit GibsonMayerLLC.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Periscope. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. You download it, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, A2D Radio. We're growing. We're everywhere. We're taking over. Sports Hounds with you till 10 o'clock. Going to start it off, our poll question tonight, a little Monday Night Football preview before we get into all the happenings of the NFL. Sixers are live. Flyers are up and down. We got 3 of the 4 major sports in action for a couple more weeks, maybe only one more game for the World Series. Houston looks to have that on lock. But our poll question tonight brought to you by not Gibson Mayer LLC, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy. 3 convenient locations, no appointment necessary. Visit specializedphysicaltherapy.com for more information. The Dolphins will cover the 14-point spread tonight against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Going to keep you updated on the Sixers and the Monday Night Football game as you progress to the 10 o'clock hour here on A2D Radio. But I have a hard time with these big lines in pro football. I'll take the Dolphins tonight, plus 14. I know they're not good. I know they traded Kenyon Drake. They might trade more players before tomorrow, but I'm going to believe in them slightly tonight. I'm going to take the Dolphins, plus 14. Don't feel good about it. Kind of a mutt game here on Monday Night Football, Brad.
Yeah. No, this is not your proverbial diamond here.
Isn't it amazing how that's evolved? It used to be Monday night was a marquee matchup. Now you really the Sunday night game.
Sunday night, it's been like that
Sunday
for a while
at
now.
4:25 and Sunday night are the
Sunday night is usually the game everybody's watching.
Yeah.
Now. Monday night, a lot of times it's been more of an afterthought. So, I mean, this game, honestly, I've been thinking about this, and problem with Miami is Miami just doesn't score. Not that Pittsburgh is such a great offensive machine either. I think Miami is like 31st in the league scoring, and I believe Pittsburgh is like 28th or 27th. But Pittsburgh at least is in the middle of the pack. I believe they're 17th in the league in yards given up this year, and while Miami is all the way at the bottom. Miami gives up around 160 yards a game rushing. So I would think that the Steelers are going to run the ball down their throat.
Sounds pretty good if you have James Conner on your fantasy team tonight.
Absolutely. And Mason Rudolph's back. His quarterback rating is over 100. He's been pretty effective. I mean, 7 touchdown passes in 4 games. Not great, but not bad. I think that the Steelers are going to score enough. I could see like a 20-3 game, 27-10, somewhere along those lines. I think that's what you're kind of looking at. I mean, I would.
So 27-10, that'd be a cover.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are going to cover, but I mean, it's going to be like a 3-point game as far as covering is concerned. It's going to be close. Miami's just they can't score. And they just traded Drake, who led the team in almost every offensive category. I mean, I don't see how they're going to score. I just don't.
Yeah, and I hope, follower of the Eagles and an Eagles fan, I hope Howie Roseman has a close eye on what the Miami Dolphins are doing tonight because I think they have a receiver that can help them in Devontae Parker.
He absolutely can
He's
help
not
them.
vital to their future. He's kind of been a bust as a first-round pick. I think he's fast. I think he's got decent size. I think that it's wishful thinking that Deshaun Jackson is going to, if he plays on Sunday or plays at all the rest of the season, I think it's wishful thinking that he's going to be the game breaker we saw in Week 1 against Washington. So, and I don't think they're going to.
They do need some help. Absolutely.
It looks like A.J. Green's going to be going to the Bills for a second-round pick this year and a third-round pick next year. He is still injured.
Boy, A.J. Green.
Wait, is that confirmed?
I thought I saw Schefter tweet it.
That got confirmed already? Jeez.
I mean,
Let me just.
A.J.
You want to check on that?
A.J.
Yeah.
Green is a big difference maker.
Or it's close. It's close to being
close.
done. I saw it on Schefter's Twitter, so
All right.
I think that's pretty credible.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty credible. Other than like.
I'm gonna check it out right
I'm just
now,
glad
too.
it's not like some
And I also-
troll page like Jeff Evans or something. But we're
Yeah,
all
no,
good.
and I had a couple buddies
yeah.
text me mad that the Eagles didn't jump in on that. But, I mean, look, I don't think the Eagles are really going to make any substantial trades. The one name that comes to mind is Devontae Parker.
What about
Would help.
Slay? I keep hearing everybody
I don't
hoping that
think
they're going to get
Howie's.
Slay.
I don't
but
think Howie's going to give up those draft picks. I think Howie.
they're going to want.
No, because you remember last year around this time, the Eagles traded a third-round pick for Golden Tate, and
Right.
Golden Tate was never really incorporated correctly in this offense. He caught the one big touchdown in the playoffs against the Bears to win the game, but that was really it. And then he walked right out the door to your Giants. So they spent a third-round pick for a rental, and I know that eats at Howie Roseman, who covets his draft picks so nicely because when you hit on the draft picks, he has more flexibility with his veterans with the salary cap.
Absolutely.
So I think Jake Friel said it was a fake account. But if you can get A.J. Green for a second and a third-round pick.
As long as it's not in the same year.
No, the trade that I saw was
Second this year and third next year?
what did I get tricked by, Jake? A fake Schefter account? Well, a few of my buddies were let's see, Adam Schefter.
Let's see. Yep, it was. I got
Is it
a lot.
fake?
It is a fake Adam Schefter.
All right, so
Yeah.
I mean, he's still on the block. Does he help you? Yeah, but
Oh yeah.
I don't
mean,
think-
if he's healthy, if he comes back and he's healthy, I mean he's a difference maker, no doubt. I mean,
I don't see them making a big move for Darius Slay, giving up a first, second-round pick, whatever it's.
you're gonna
take
have to
get
give
it.
up. You're gonna have to give up probably a first and maybe you may have to give up a first and a second the next year.
The Cardinals don't really seem to be interested in trading Patrick Peterson.
Well, they'll probably re-sign him.
Leonard Williams, who's a guy I thought could help, he goes from the Jets to the Giants. That's the first trade the Giants and Jets have ever made.
Yeah,
by
that
the
is
way.
crazy that those two teams actually made a trade. I mean, could you imagine the Yankees and the Mets making a trade?
Well, what is this with the animosity towards these New York teams? What's the difference if you make a trade with them or not? Why are they so?
Oh, they. Because you're not a New York fan, you don't
No,
understand.
clearly not.
Yeah, no.
But what's the difference if the Yankees and the Mets trade? They're not in the same league.
It doesn't matter because if the other team if the Yankees were to trade with the Mets, let's say the Yankees got Syndergaard and then the Yankees won a championship, for the Met fans to have to see Noah Syndergaard holding up the championship trophy would make them so angry and so upset they'd never get over it. And it would be the same thing if the Yankees traded Aaron Judge to the Mets and the Mets won. The Yankee fans would be going nuts that Aaron Judge is holding up the trophy. So I'm just telling you how it is.
I don't care how good the Mets are and how bad the Yankees are. However that tips over the next couple of years, the Mets will never steal the front page from the Yankees. Something will always be going on with the Yankees, good, bad, or indifferent, that's going to steal those headlines.
Well, the same thing goes with the Giants and the Jets. There's an inferiority complex with the Jets and the Giants, and there's an inferiority complex with the Mets and the Yankees. The Mets are the JV, and the Yankees are the varsity. Just like the Jets are the JV, and the Giants are the varsity. And, ever since the Jets have not been the the big team in town as far as the Jets and Giants are concerned.
But
Since
they only
Namath
had
was on the
themselves to
team.
blame for that, though. They stink every year, and the Giants
Well, the Giants had their time.
Giants win championships every so often.
You can excuse the Giants for rebuilding because they won 2 championships.
Yeah.
The Jets have done nothing at all but stink, and they
They
continue
pop
to
up
stink.
in the playoffs every once in a while, but
Yeah, it's
for
the
the most
sixth
part,
seed.
no.
It's the 6th seed, and then get destroyed, and then you don't hear from them for 3 or 4 years. And it's a shame, but that's kind of how it is. But this is something. You know what? I think the Jets actually may have been smart that they took the best package they could, and I think this is a good gamble for the Giants. Leonard Williams.
he was the 6th pick in the draft.
Yeah, and 2 years ago he was an All-Pro. So I mean, he's only 25 years old. Granted, last year was not a good year. He hasn't been very good this year either. But you know what? He's going to be in a new system. He's in a system with Betcher where he basically excelled and played the same way as Todd Bowles had him playing a couple of years ago. He might. Maybe the Giants are hoping to catch some lightning in a bottle. And quite honestly, the way the Giants have drafted the last few years, you know what? 3rd round pick. If this guy ends up playing well, and then re-signing with them, and he gives them a good pass rush, then it's a good move. I mean, we'll see. The Giants took a gamble. I'm kind of glad to see them step outside the box, take some chances, and try to improve this team.
Now, the Giants, they absolutely stink. They're rebuilding. Is there any other moves you anticipate them making? Maybe
Yeah, I
should
think
Norris
Jenkins
gets traded.
I think
or-
Jenkins is going to go, and I think
I don't want any part of Norris Jenkins as
well,
on
he's
the Philadelphia Eagles.
he's nuts, but
He stinks.
But there are some other moves that can be made. The middle linebacker, now I can't remember his name.
Alec Ogletree. We talked
Yeah,
about him before the show.
Ogletree, right?
I'd trade
Ogletree.
for him.
Ogletree is definitely
But are
available.
the Giants and the Eagles really going to make a trade?
You know what? If the Giants would make a trade with the Jets, they'd make a trade with the Eagles. If it'll improve the team. Now, understand, though, Ogletree is signed for the next 2 seasons after this year.
Yeah, it's okay.
So if you're getting
Eagles have no linebackers.
Okay,
Brad
if
missed
you-
the game again yesterday.
If you're getting
They have an undrafted T.J. Edwards and Nate Jerry, who's severely undersized.
okay,
playing
$9
linebacker.
million next year and $10 million the year after that.
Well, maybe
I
you
know,
get
I'm
him in
just-
here. You can restructure.
I'm
and
just-
Howie's good at that stuff.
I'm just trying to give you all the facts here. Jenkins is a free agent after the season, so whatever you
Yeah,
get.
I don't care about him. I
Yeah,
don't want him.
He's more worried about padding his interception stats than guarding. And Mike Evans had him for lunch when they played Tampa
And,
Bay.
if
he
you
was
watched the
embarrassed.
Eagles game yesterday, Jalen Mills is back, had another solid game, and Ronald Darby looked healthy yesterday and played really solid.
Keep
Looked
in
really
mind though,
good at-
Buffalo
really good impressed man.
Buffalo offensively is not that does not have
No,
a great
the-
passing game.
We're gonna get to the Eagles.
Yeah,
after we
but
talk trades.
yeah,
here for a little
but I
longer.
mean, but I mean,
the Buffalo Bills were incapable of taking advantage of the Eagles' weaknesses.
no, they're not. No, but I mean, listen, if they could be capable if they go out and they make that AJ Green trade, but I mean they've already played him, so that's water under the bridge. Getting back to the trade possibilities, I mean, really, those are the 2 guys I think that the Giants would that you'd be looking at that the Giants would probably want to try to move. Would be those 2. Because they're definitely going to be. And Nate Solder is another one. Nate Solder.
Yeah,
boy.
the Eagles, they're fine in line.
He is. Nate Solder.
You gave him all that money, and he's kind of stunk.
No, not kind of. Okay, if you
He
read
has
if you
stunk.
read what I said on Facebook,
I missed that
just
one.
I was like, please somebody, please,
You gotta
please,
be careful
please
when
get rid
when
of
the
him.
Patriots get rid of people. Like, it's for a reason.
Well,
Really, the only guy that they got rid of that was productive the next season was Blunt when they
well,
Eagles
what
won
about
the Super Bowl.
what about
with him.
Collins? They trade him to the Browns.
Then they get him back,
and then they
he's
get him
to
back,
being
and
an
now he's back
all-pro.
to being. Yeah, I mean, come on, that boy is that annoying.
Hell, I
And
remember. I remember the time that the Eagles got Patrick Chung from the Pats, and he
Yeah.
stunk it up in Midnight Green, and then he comes back to the Pats, and he's like, "Oh, he's effective
Starter.
again.
Patrick
Great."
Chung again. Yeah,
It's that weird Belichick effect.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. And by the way, I've heard that the Patriots aren't done dealing either. They're still trying to find another
No,
wide
they're
receiver.
supposedly in on AJ Green.
And I heard Trent Williams as well.
The Patriots in on Trent Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You know
I
what?
mean, what can he? I mean, he
Yeah.
hasn't played at all.
Right.
Who knows if he's in like?
Yeah. If
Well,
he's
let me-
rusty
I'd
or
be careful with
yeah.
that one.
Let me ask you this: the San Francisco 49ers.
Right.
They should be in on somebody offensively.
They got Emmanuel Sanders from Denver.
I would try to get somebody else. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that team right now has
They
a
certainly
champion.
don't need anyone on defense.
No, they have a championship level defense right now. I mean, what are they giving up? Like 60 points this season?
It's crazy.
I mean, their defense this year is just incredible.
Do you think they're the best team in the NFC?
Oh, they certainly gave the Rams a whooping.
They did.
They took the Rams behind the woodshed. You know, they
Took the Panthers behind the woodshed yesterday.
yeah,
too.
they really did. I mean, that's a good football team.
I had the Panthers +4. I got shredded.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good football team. I mean, I would be very interested to see. Do they play the Saints this year?
I'd
Niners?
have to look at their schedule.
Yeah,
Frank,
I'll pull that
bring
up.
up-
Yeah.
bring
Yeah,
up
can
the
you bring
Niners
up the Niners schedule? Because I really
Do
like.
you think the Niners are better than Green Bay? That's who I think the best team in the
see.
NFC is.
The Niners' next games, the next 6 games for them.
If
they
I had
are,
to pick the Super Bowl right now, it would be the Patriots and the Packers.
All right, so the
yeah, I
next
still
couple
like.
games for
I
them.
still like the Saints. I was very impressed with the fact
Yeah,
that
I mean, Drew Brees.
and
back.
Kamara's out, and it didn't even matter. I mean, they just
Well,
gave.
Cardinals aren't very good.
I know, but they
Yeah.
gave the ball to what's his name?
Latavius Murray.
Latavius
Yeah.
Murray, and he just
Ran all
basically
over them.
took over.
Do you have it right there,
I
Frank?
do have the next 6
All right.
games for the Niners. On Halloween, they are on
So
the
they're
road.
the Thursday game this week.
Yep, and they
Good.
are taking
Can't wait
on
to see
the
them.
Arizona Cardinals.
All
They will
right, so
pound
they're-
them into
Then
the earth.
on
What's that, 8-0 then?
Yeah.
yeah, then on 11/11 on Monday Night Football, they get the Seattle Seahawks
That's a game.
at the.
But I don't know.
Santa
Seattle's
Clara.
defense is not really developed
Yeah.
like I thought it was going to. They're really good at offense with Wilson and Chris
Where's that
Carson
game
and
at?
Lockett.
it's at Levi's Stadium.
Oh,
So
it's in
Niners
San
at home.
Francisco. I would
And
take the
then-
49ers.
and
You got to
then
think they're going to lose a game
the
sometime,
following game,
though.
they are back. They take on the Cardinals once again.
That's a win.
That's another
on the
win.
17th. Then they host the Packers on the 24th.
That could be a loss.
They host. They're getting all these games at home, though.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then they're on the road. The next 2 games, they are on the road. They are at Baltimore on the 1st. And then on December 8th, they do take on the Saints at the Superdome.
Okay, so they got some tough
They
games.
got some tough
they got some
games.
tough
They
games
do.
coming up.
We'll find out. We'll find out towards around Thanksgiving time
Yeah.
just how good that football team really is. I mean, you got to be
What are
impressed
the
with their
thank-
defense.
What are the Thanksgiving games this year?
Well, you can assume the Lions are playing.
Lions
you
Yeah,
can
of
assume the
course.
Cowboys are playing. So that's
Well, that's cool because the Lions are actually good this year.
yeah, they're not bad. They're not bad.
the Thanksgiving games, we got, of course, the Bears and at the Lions, and then the Bills at the Cowboys, and the Saints at the Falcons.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could bet a three-team tease and make some money on your bookie that week.
Hopefully. I
Yeah,
can't,
but you might only get like 3 to 5.
Yeah.
You know,
I
if you
can't,
move the line.
I can't
but,
pick my nose right now when it comes to these NFL games.
the
I
NFL's
can't-
always
I can't
tough. You know that.
Pick anything.
Well,
I've actually been doing okay in college.
your NFL play of the year did win the Green Bay Packers, losing
Yes.
outright to the Eagles.
Yeah.
that
That's
was
about.
well,
that might be my only win.
well, but that was your NFL play of the year. So you got
Play
to
of the decade.
yeah, you're-
millennium.
yeah,
Century.
you definitely get props for that one. But you know we're going to see about San Francisco. They're going to get tested. You know they're not going to get a
Yeah.
free ride. So and that's good because that's what you want to see that.
So you look at the NFC big picture. Obviously, the Eagles. Getting to the Eagles and the Bills. First off, I commend the Eagles for showing up yesterday, getting a big win on the road, in
Exactly.
rather convincing fashion. But if you expect me to be back all in, sipping the Kool-Aid, division, playoff wins, Super Bowl, it's just not going to happen. The Bills were incapable of taking advantage of the Eagles' weaknesses, and I think the Bills are the worst 5-2 team in NFL history.
Well, take a look at their wins.
They've beaten the Dolphins twice, the Giants, who still had Eli Manning, not even Daniel Jones.
Right. The Jets
The Jets
and I think the Bengals.
and Cincinnati.
Yeah. How many wins is that total, Rob, between those 4 teams?
And
Excuse me,
I
those
think
5
it's-
teams. 3?
well,
The Giants have won 2. The Jets
Giants
got
have
1.
2, 1. That's 3.
Okay.
Miami has 0.
I think the
Bengals
Bengals
have 0 as well.
Yeah.
So what's that? 3 wins.
3
Yeah.
wins. Yes. So what is you're probably looking at what 3-24, something like that, 3-25 maybe, maybe 3-22. It's something
So
horrid.
the Bills
got
have a
an
good
interception
record,
on,
but they're a
Monday Night
bunch of they're
Football.
phony balonies when it comes to contenders in the AFC. They ain't making the playoffs.
No, but they do
I'll
have
put green money on that.
they do
right
have
now.
a flat out incredible. But
They
they're done
still
with,
won't make it.
They're done with the Dolphins, so they don't get to keep
They
playing
still won't
them.
make it.
Yeah, they probably won't.
Like they're not above losing to the Jets if Darnold gets hot.
Oh no. The Jets are very capable of winning games. They just have a horrible coach. You know who they may have the most clueless coach in the NFL.
I don't understand how you can hire him.
Because the Jets are incompetent. I mean,
They're not very good.
They're just incompetent. I mean, their upper management is. I mean, Christopher Johnson. It's amazing he can run Johnson & Johnson, but when it comes to the football
you're right.
team,
They
might
really
be
do
the
have an easy schedule.
He is the dumbest man on the face of the earth.
But look
when
at
it comes to this.
So now you're gonna have the Bills potentially in the playoffs, who
I told
absolutely,
you they have an easy schedule.
absolutely stink, and they're gonna get blown out by any good team they play. They play the Redskins at home next week. They'll win that.
Mm-hmm.
At
told you.
Cleveland, it's on the road, but Cleveland's terrible. They'll hit them in the mouth, and Cleveland will run and go home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, they're not done with Miami. They have one more game against
I thought they
Miami.
won 2 games already against Miami. I could have sworn when I was reading this morning, they've won 2 games against Miami.
Who are their wins?
Well, the Miami, the Jets, the Giants, and Washington.
No, they
play
didn't
Washington.
They didn't play Washington.
The Giants,
yet.
the Jets, Miami, Cincinnati. Who's the other win then?
All right, they beat the Jets 17-16 in Week 1. They beat the Giants 28-14 in Week 2. They beat the Bengals 21-17 in Week 3. Then the Titans. They beat
Titans,
the Titans.
okay. So they have one legitimate win. Okay, and the Titans aren't exactly
World beaters.
no.
And,
no.
their
They can't
calling,
score.
Their calling card is only losing to the Patriots by 6. Like, I mean, okay.
Yeah, all right. Well, they played well against the Patriots, but
then
they still lost.
you have the Redskins, the Browns, the Dolphins, the Broncos.
all horrible teams.
Then you get a tough stretch. You get the Cowboys, Ravens, Steelers, and Patriots.
And they're
then
going to
you
lose
have-
all those games.
And then you have Week 17 against the Jets.
And you never know what the Jets are going to be about Week 17.
And they're not. I don't think they're above dropping a game that they should win. At all.
No, they're not above that.
At all. So, yeah, I'm happy the Eagles won. I thought Ronald Darby played a good game. I thought Miles Sanders played a good game.
They ran the football
I hope that Miles
effectively.
Sanders' shoulder injury isn't too serious and he's able to play next week against the Bears. But I thought Carson Wentz played great. Jordan Howard played good. The offensive line played good. Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham had good games together for the first time all season. So, a lot of good building blocks. But, I mean, I'm just not as excited as some of the fan base over this win.
Let's not get carried away.
I'm not getting carried away. You beat the Bears at home and you're 5-4 going to the bye. Then you might have something. Because then you have 5 wins with 4 gimmies.
So
With the Giants twice, the Redskins, and the Dolphins.
right, so that's 9.
That's 9. And then you got to beat
One of the
You gotta beat-
you got to beat either the Patriots. The Seahawks are a must. You have to beat
the
them.
Seahawks.
You have to beat the Seahawks. But you also have the Patriots.
Patriots, Cowboys, Seahawks.
Patriots,
you gotta win
Cowboys,
one of
and
those games.
Seahawks. Yeah,
you get the 10 wins.
Right, and preferably out of those 3 games, the Seahawks are the ones you got to beat because it's going to be at this point they're going to have to be 10-6 and they're going to have to own tiebreakers because I do think it's going to take 10. It's going to take 10 wins to make the playoffs in the NFC.
All right.
There's a lot of good teams.
So
in
we
the
got an
NFC.
update in the Monday Night Football game. The Miami Dolphins take the lead with the score of 7-0. Ryan Fitzpatrick throwing a touchdown to Albert Wilson for 5 yards after a Mason Rudolph interception.
Well, there you go.
All right, let's get to some comments here. Mark Monique says, "What's up? What's up, Mark? Thanks for tuning in." Mark Monique, are they going to make a move on a cornerback? Mark, no, I don't really see it. If they do make a move for a cornerback, it's not going to be anyone of substance. And
Yeah, they're not gonna trade
I
their
think that
all their draft picks They're not going to trade it.
I think that a cornerback trade is super unlikely because you have Darby back, you have Mills back. Vontae Maddox is going to practice on Wednesday, per Doug Peterson's press conference, and Cravon LeBlanc is eligible to return in Week 10. So I don't think you're going to get a corner. I think you got who you got in the secondary, and that's who you're going to have to go with. David Roska, what's up, boys? Mark Monique, yes, sir. Greg Milakovic. Mason Rudolph blows the Dolphins outright tonight. Let's go. Have a great show, fellas.
I don't know about that. The Dolphins are they're really bad.
What's going on? The Michael Wesley Chromiak. Check out Chrome tomorrow on Birds of a Feather and on Thursday on Lazy Booking. Talk some wrestling. Got a pay-per-view on Thursday in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, I'm sorry. That people are going to buy the pay-per-view.
You got to have the WWE Network.
Yeah. But people are like, oh, I want to cancel WWE
now,
Network.
Did I see this right, that Ric Flair is fighting Hulk Hogan at this pay-per-view?
Ric Flair is
Am
going
I
to get
seeing
back
that?
in the ring?
Yeah, that is confirmed.
That's like the main event.
Are
or
they
whatever.
gonna? Oh boy, are they gonna have oxygen masks for these guys?
I mean, those guys are really gonna fight.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to see that.
Yeah,
in
1994.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
like,
they did fight in back then.
Probably.
Yeah. A million times.
I'd rather watch that than the pay-per-view.
Right.
I'd rather.
Let me see who else is on this card.
I mean, I hope Ric Flair is okay. And Ric Flair almost died last
Yeah, he
summer.
almost died last year. And then, like, you have an appearance by who was it? I think the Undertaker's making an appearance.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
He's just slightly younger.
Allegedly, he's making an appearance, unless if he.
Hector Berrios Ortiz. Any trade that can happen. I mean, obviously trades could happen, but and Howie's going to do his due diligence. That's one thing I will give Howie Roseman credit for. He always does his due diligence, but.
Yeah, but to get a
Darius
top-notch
Slay,
cornerback,
Chris Harris, Von Miller, obviously Ramsey and Jadeveon Clowney. You missed a vote on those guys.
You're talking multiple draft picks, and most likely you're going to have to give up a first-round draft pick for these guys. And in Jadeveon Clowney's case, isn't he a free agent after the season?
Yes.
You're not going to give that for a rental. You may not have to though. But listen.
Well, Clowney already got traded. The Seahawks aren't going to
He
trade him.
yeah. Well, they could.
They're not going to.
They're not going to. They want to try to. Yeah, they want to try to make the playoffs.
But, you know, if they make a trade, I'd like to see them add a linebacker. And maybe Alec Ogletree from the Giants can fit. But I just look at the linebackers, and I'm just not
See, I think Alec Ogletree, I think you could get him for a third. And I think you could probably get Janoris Jenkins for a fifth.
I don't want Janoris.
No, I'm just saying what most likely what they're gonna do. I mean, it doesn't mean that they're gonna be done. Eli Manning could get traded.
What? Oh my goodness!
What happened?
I'm reading this card real quick.
What, the WWF card?
Yeah. Oh my! Like, here's a championship match: Brock Lesnar facing a recently debuting Cain Velasquez from UFC for the championship. Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
Cain Velasquez has appeared on 2 shows. Like,
can he even does he know how to wrestle?
I don't even know. The fact that this is happening in Saudi Arabia, that's
why is it in Saudi Arabia?
Because money. Because good old Vince McMahon and his little friends.
What other matches are slated for that? That are guys that we know.
Is that true that Hulk Hogan is fighting Ric
Flair?
Flair?
Hulk Hogan. Well, I think he's going to be he is going to wrestle. It's going to be Hogan, Roman Reigns, Rusev, Ricochet, and Shorty G. No, wait, they're not wrestling. They're all managing. Oh, great. Lovely.
Oh, they're managing.
Okay, so
they're managing.
All right, so they may get involved. They'll get involved.
So they pick their squad schoolyard style. And
apparently. It's like, I pick you, I pick you, I pick you, not you. You'll be picked last. Like.
Yeah. Okay. So they'll go in for a. They'll go in for like a minute, and then they'll tag
for like
out.
one really bad spot, and then people be like, yeah, cancel the WWE Network. Yeah, I don't want to watch this anymore. I'm going to watch AEW.
Yeah.
I do watch AEW.
I love
Wednesday
AEW.
sometime.
Oh, it's awesome.
You ever watch the wrestling from Japan?
Oh, NJPW. Oh, yeah. I wish I had that on my cable.
It's better.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, Deion Brown checks in. What's up, fellas? On to the Bears at home. Keep the same type of formula next week. Run the football. Let those O-linemen earn their money. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree because the Bears aren't going to have any problems covering our receivers, the Eagles receivers.
It's going to be a tough game.
I mean, I get I get Trubisky stinks, and I get that Nagy is kind of
and they're not going to score. Listen, we know the Bears won't score a lot of points,
but Nagy's losing his marbles because Trubisky stinks.
Well, that's why I'm saying. What is the Bears' record now?
They are 3-4.
They're 3-4. You do not think Eli Manning could help that team?
Probably.
Okay, just saying. I mean, I don't know if the Giants would actually trade him, but
I think it's wishful thinking for you to think you're going to get a draft pick for Eli Manning.
if you get a 5th or a 6th, I mean, I would just like to see Eli playing again and get a shot at one more title, because that's not going to happen this year with the Giants. But
the Eagles' offense is going to have their work cut out for them against that defense.
Well, I think as long as the Eagles don't be giving up any pick sixes or make any fatal mistakes inside in the red zone with the ball,
they did against Dallas.
Well, exactly, or or just getting sloppy like they did against Minnesota. I think that they'll be able to win the game. They have to play a clean game against the Bears. They can't turn the ball over. If they start turning the ball over, that's where the Bears can get you. But the Bears don't have a good enough offense. They don't have enough firepower to put a lot of points on the board unless you literally hand it to them. And obviously, field goal kicking continues to be a problem for the poor Bears because they should have had that game yesterday.
Well, the Stunad, Nagy, he just gives up because he doesn't trust his quarterback and doesn't try and get any more extra yards to make the – because if you're 5 yards closer, that field goal goes in.
Yeah, but
the wind blew it.
But Trubisky is capable of taking a sack, throwing an interception, or fumbling.
Well, you know what?
That's the problem.
If
He's so bad. And when you think about it, the Chicago Bears traded up to get him, and they passed on
one spot.
Yeah, and
they gave
didn't,
up a king's ransom.
Patrick,
one
yeah.
spot.
Yeah, and Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson were also in that draft, and both of them are really, really good. And by the way, if you remember, Rob, you and I were on another radio station, WNJC, several years ago.
Yeah.
You remember I was begging the Giants to draft Deshaun Watson?
You were.
And you were saying, no.
Well, this was what, 3 years ago?
Yes, the Giants were on their way to probably making the playoffs. But I kept saying, go get Deshaun Watson, go draft Deshaun Watson. I can't remember who they drafted, but I'll tell you what, I guarantee you, whoever they drafted back then is not on the team anymore.
Was that the year that they picked?
That was the year that they picked. They picked what's his name?
They picked that Hernandez guys in the second.
No, they got the corner. They got the corner that's on the Saints now.
Oh yeah, that idiot Eli Apple.
Apple, yeah.
But the Giants, they were picking later, right? Or
Yeah. They picked 21st that year.
Watson went 4th.
No, he went 17th.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
He went 17th.
Why did he slide so much?
The Giants could have traded up to get him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd be in business if you have Deshaun Watson.
I mean, they should have been thinking about it then. But I'll tell you what, though, Daniel Jones, I think, is coming along, and I know a lot of Giant fans are screaming about firing Pat Shurmur, and it's not going to happen, guys. They're not going to fire Pat Shurmur because I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you two reasons why.
You think he's that bad?
He's pretty bad, but I'm going to give you 2 reasons why he's not going anywhere, okay? Was Case Keenum a very good quarterback when Pat Shurmur was the offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings? Yes or no?
Career year. Went to the NFC Championship game.
Okay. And Pat Shurmur was the offensive coordinator.
He was?
Yes, he was. And they picked Daniel Jones as a quarterback. Daniel Jones, to me, I think he's showing an awful lot right now as a rookie quarterback.
He has things that I like. And
listen, he's making rookie mistakes, which is what you would expect. Doesn't have a whole hell of a lot of weapons right now. I mean, he doesn't have Sterling Shepard. He didn't have Barkley for 4 weeks. Evan Ingram was injured a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's shown a lot. Daniel Jones. He can run the ball. He's very accurate with his passing. He can throw on the run. I mean, he makes a lot of plays. He's just sometimes, he's a rookie and he makes some rookie mistakes. And he, as a rookie quarterback, he does what most rookie quarterbacks do. He has too much confidence in himself, and he'll try to throw a ball in double coverage and get intercepted.
Yeah, but I think they're doing the right thing with him. Let him go play.
Oh, absolutely.
Let him go play.
Absolutely. And you know what? And I think the way that Shermer has brought him along, and the fact that even when he has a bad game, he had a bad game a couple of weeks ago, and he came back and had a real good game yesterday. I mean, 4 touchdown passes and 322 yards is nothing to sneeze at on the road. I mean, he had a good game. Listen, he made one play where he made the lateral to Barkley, and Detroit picked it up and ran in for a touchdown. But you know what? I blame that more on Saquon Barkley just standing around and not going out and getting the ball.
Yeah, Barkley said after the game he should have tried harder.
Yeah, no, he didn't even try to get the ball. He just assumed it was incomplete, and Barkley messed that up. So I'm not going to completely put that on Jones. I think that's a 50-50 with him and Barkley. But, after that, he played very well. They were down 14-0, brought him back 14-13. Rosas, of course, misses the extra point because Rosas is back to being his usual crappy self again. I guess last year was a, flashing. Yes. So, look, it is what it is. The Giants probably will win 4 or 5 games this year. They're going to get a top 10 pick again. Hopefully, they'll go out and they'll fill some more holes. I mean, I keep hearing that they may try to get that guy Judy on Alabama, the receiver.
But don't they need?
But they do. Well, they keep
trench
hearing,
help and
defense.
They
do. Yeah,
they do. I mean, but they right now, as it stands right now,
that guy is a beast. So I can't really.
Well, they seem to love him. Gettleman and Shermer are in love with that guy. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But at this point, that's what they need to do. They're going to be at least right now, as it stands right now. Before making any more trades, they're going to be $65 million under the cap next year. So they're going to be able to make a lot of moves and try to bring in some pieces, to fill in and try to improve that team. So we'll see. I mean, I think realistically, I don't think this year obviously is not going to happen. I don't think next year is the year either. I think that if you are honest as a Giant fan, if you're honest with yourself, 2021 I think is the year they start competing for the playoffs and competing for a championship. I think it's going to take another 2 years to get all these holes filled in. But I do like Jones. I'm pretty satisfied that I think that he can definitely lead a team. He's definitely got the athletic ability and everything else. So we'll see.
It is still 7-0 Miami Dolphins about midway through the first quarter. Getting some of our YouTube family here. Bryce Blackwell checks in. He wants the Eagles to make a trade. I got to tell you, I don't think it's going to happen. He also commends the Houston Astros for their resurgence. Nationals are choking, LOL, he says. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Are the Nationals choking, or
I think the cream is just rising to the top.
I don't think the Nationals are choking. First of all, the Astros are better. Secondly, the Astros caught an unbelievably big break that Max Scherzer all of a sudden's got neck spasms, and they don't have to face him. I mean, the Astros have been fortunate.
It's got to be pretty bad for him to have to sit out the World Series.
Well, if the Astros won Game 6, if Scherzer isn't well enough to pitch Game 7, then he's got a pretty darn serious injury. Because I would think that if there was any way that he could pitch Game 7 of the World Series, I think wild horses wouldn't be able to stop him.
Maybe come in relief or something.
Yeah,
innings,
I mean,
don't know.
I mean, boy, oh boy. Don't count the Nationals out. Strasburg.
They've been very resilient the whole
Strasburg can definitely beat Verlander with Strasburg. Verlander hasn't been that good in the playoffs. He hasn't been all that great in the playoffs this year. I mean, he's had some bad innings. He gave up the 4 runs that one inning against the Yankees. I mean, he got shellacked in Tampa, albeit on 3 days rest, but he still got shellacked. I mean, it can happen. Verlander is not infallible anymore. You know, I think Cole is a lot more infallible than Verlander. And how about Cole last night, by the way?
He's unreal.
I mean, Cole's going to get between $250 and $300 million. And I'm going to tell you something right now. If Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner don't pony up to the table and bring this guy in, then you know what? You two both – then Cheap Hal needs to go, and Cashman needs to be run out of town because you want to win the championship.
You guys
keep
are in the
claiming,
ALCS every year.
You
You're gonna run your
guys-
GM out of town.
if they don't go out and get the best pitcher in baseball when he's available,
They're going to get an arm, Brad.
Okay.
It's the Yankees.
Well-
Whether they get Cole or Wheeler or someone else.
well, let's see. When Verlander was available, did they get him?
No.
Okay. Greinke refused to come here, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. When they had a chance to get Cole from the Pirates, did they get him? No.
No.
Houston got him. Okay. When Corbin was available, did they pony up and get him?
No.
No. Instead, they get J Happ. Okay. So I mean, this team, I'm tired of seeing them cheap out and bring in second-rate pitchers all the time, and then try to sell us in the fact that, oh, we got great pitching. Well, you know, Paxton's a good pitcher. Paxton is like almost an ace. He's like a 1B ace. Severino, when he's healthy, can be an ace. Tanaka is a money pitcher. He's always good in big games, and for the most part, is very, very good. He'll give you one or two horrendously bad games, and that's why he always has a high ERA. Because when he gets bombed, I mean, he just gets mutilated. So much for the ERA, but they need a guy like Cole. Cole's the answer. Cole will win them a championship.
Everybody needs a guy like Cole.
Oh, I agree with you.
Cassius Cliff checks in. AJ Green is damaged goods. I'll pass. Would rather Boyd. I mean, yeah, Tyler Boyd's younger, and he's not going to get traded. The Bengals are going to try and build around him. NX 750 Gaming, a fourth-round pick for Avery, who's just a depth piece right now, seems high. Yeah, the Eagles did make a trade today. They traded a fourth-round pick to the Cleveland Browns. Jannard Avery comes back.
Yeah, but he's a good player, though. He's a pretty good player.
Yeah, I don't really know much about him. He's probably going to play defensive end.
Got some nice stats, though.
I guess that he's going to take Josh Sweats's reps on the defensive line.
Any chance you think Odell gets traded? Odell's already starting trouble again in Cleveland because he's crying that Baker's not throwing the ball to him enough.
And it's also a fourth-round pick in 2021.
Who's
So
that?
That's what the Eagles gave up for this guy.
Oh, okay. Well,
doesn't
I think that
affect
guy's
the-
a pretty good player. So,
Yeah.
but getting back to Odell, Rob, would Cleveland cut the cord with him and just get rid of him? Because I think that he's becoming a problem already.
What
for
are you
them.
going to get for him, though?
Well,
I would
like,
only trade him if I was Cleveland if I could get
get that
players.
first and third back.
players. No, I want players. I don't want draft picks. I want players who I can step in, who are going to be part of my process, and I can build with for Odell. I wouldn't trade Odell Beckham for a bunch of wild card draft picks. I just wouldn't.
Yeah, I think. I mean, right now, I would have to think that Cleveland would. I don't know if they would trade him, but I would think that they'd be listening.
I think these teams that trade top talent like Jalen Ramsey or Odell or anyone for a bunch of draft picks, who nobody knows if these draft picks are going to be good.
They're also, for the most part, they're going to end up being near the bottom.
Everyone
bottom of the pile.
Everyone wants to roast Howie for not being able to draft, but I mean, there's a lot of teams out there that draft worse than Howie.
Yeah, the Giants and Jets. Perfect
The
example.
The Browns don't do anything.
No, I mean, all things considered, and you know what I said at the beginning of the season with the Browns.
I know it's blasphemous to say, but you know the Patriots miss on draft picks as well.
Yeah, every once in a while. But I told you the Browns were going to stink this year.
You did.
I told you. I told you that coach. To have all these big
That's
mouths
their
on
problem.
that team.
And they have a guy who doesn't have a clue.
Yeah, I told you they needed a real coach to coach these guys, and you know the fact that they brought a clown in, you know, you knew this was going to happen. I mean, if anybody needs, I'll tell you what. If you put Mike McCarthy as coach of that team,
Well, I also thought Baker Mayfield was
Baker Mayfield's
budding,
a punk. He's a
budding
punk.
star, but he's
a punk with a big mouth. And I'll tell you what, right now,
nothing but a chump.
I think
is what he
Daniel
is.
Jones is playing better than he is.
There's a lot of guys in the league playing better than Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything all
Yeah,
season.
for a guy with a for a guy with as big a mouth and flashing and flashing shade at the Giants at the beginning of the season. What have you done, Baker? What's your record? Okay, because your record right now, you got all these stars on your team. You got all these great players to throw the goddamn ball to. What's your record?
It's that dreaded Pete.
It's as shitty as our record. So you know what, Baker? Go to you know where.
But it's that potential. It's that potential word, the P word, that gets coaches and GMs fired.
Yeah, well, this is what happens, though. And I'll tell you what. Do you think if Mike McCarthy was coaching the Browns, do you think this would be happening?
No, I thought that would have been a perfect match for them, but they went with the no name.
Mm-hmm.
Cassius Cliff checks in. I had a nightmare. We traded for Janoris Jenkins. Yeah, I don't want Janoris Jenkins. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. That guy stinks. David Roska checks in from the left coast. My Rams had got a bye this Sunday. When is the trade deadline in the NFL? The trade deadline is tomorrow
At 4 p.m.
At 4 p.m. So
Yeah,
we'll
Rams.
see.
The Rams have 3 losses, right?
Yes, and
Yes.
they totally destroyed the Cincinnati Bengals over in London.
Well, they should, but the Rams are another team that are definitely a team the Eagles have to look out for. I mean, there are a lot of good teams out there in the The NFC is loaded. This is the problem with the Eagles. This is why really
you got to win the division.
Yeah, they're for them to get to the playoffs. It's going to be tough for them to do it with the wild card because there's just so many good teams. If Seattle falls apart, the Rams are still good. If the Rams fall apart, you still have to worry about Minnesota. Minnesota could make the playoffs. Minnesota's a damn good
5-2.
team.
Yeah, and we
know?
got a little bit of an update right now in tonight's game. The score now is 14-0 in favor of the Dolphins.
The
Well,
Dolphins.
The Dolphins putting a hurting
Yeah,
on
this time it is a pass to Allen Hurns for 12 yards for a touchdown.
Fitzmagic flexing.
Oh,
Fitzmagic.
boy. Oh, you imagine the booing in Pittsburgh right now.
Yeah, that's not going to.
They are, yeah. Those fans are not exactly the friendliest fans, to be sure. When the team is losing to a bad team, oh boy.
James Joseph checks in. He's not a big fan of Matt Nagy. I wonder if James is a Bears fan.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of outspoken opinions about the Bears right now.
Well,
Yeah.
then he's probably a Bear fan, and he's probably extremely upset. And you can't blame him.
Yeah.
David Roska says Garrett Cole's going to go to the Angels. I think that's a distinct possibility. Two sleeper teams I would look for in the Garrett
the
Cole.
Dodgers too.
Yeah, them too. If they're going to spend money like that.
They might.
I read a rumor today online that they're going to try and trade for Francisco Lindor.
Oh, the Yankees or
No,
the Angels?
The Dodgers.
Oh, What about Seager?
I don't know.
Why do they need Francisco Lindor?
I don't know. You can't go wrong.
No.
Lindor's
I mean, I
terrific.
heard the Yankees wanted. We're considering making a trade for Francisco Lindor, and they're going to let Didi go.
Why are the Indians trying to trade Francisco Lindor?
Because next season's his walk year, and they can't really
and
afford
another
to keep him.
another team I think is going to spend money this offseason is the Chicago White Sox.
I
would
agree,
I would
and
look,
I think
look for them.
I think your
maybe.
team's going to spend some money too. I think you guys are going to go out and.
I'd be
and
really
get yourself
surprised
another
if they.
pitcher.
I
don't know about Cole, but I think there's so many pitchers that are out there that you can grab. When you take a look right now, and we're going to assume just for a minute here that these guys opt out. Okay, you got Chapman that's probably going to opt out, and he'll probably go back to the Yankees for more money. But you got Chapman, Strasburg, Cole, Bumgarner.
Yeah, I don't know.
The guy in the Twins that used to pitch for the Rays.
Odorizzi,
Odorizzi.
Wheeler.
Am
That's who I want.
am
I want the Phillies to get.
Am
Wheeler.
I missing anybody? That's really good that I just
Will
forgot
Smith,
about.
the closer.
I
for the
like Will
Giants.
Smith.
Will Smith is very good
Yeah.
too.
He'd help a lot. Lefty out of the pen, back end guy.
But that's a lot of pitchers though.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of good quality
I mean-
pitchers out
I
there.
mean, going into this offseason, it's got to be focused on pitching and depth behind.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Everybody.
take a look like at the outfielders, I think the best outfielder that I remember seeing was the guy in the Giants, the center fielder, Marte.
Yes.
Marcell Azuna's a free agent.
Yeah, but he's a left fielder. I'm talking about like an outfielder, like a center fielder.
Marte's a free agent on
Yes.
Pittsburgh.
Let me see.
Yeah, I believe he is.
Pittsburgh.
But I'm good with
trying
the
to think of
Phillies.
which Marte.
I'm good with the Phillies lineup.
Okay. No, I'm just wondering if you're still okay with their center field situation, though.
No, because you got Adam Hazley. He's the 7th pick in the
Yeah.
draft. He showed that he at least belongs, at least deserves a shot last year towards the end. He's a great glove.
Okay.
I think he's got all the tools to be able to hit
Oh, yeah.
lead off. He's your center fielder next year. You got to
Okay.
figure it out.
All right.
Because you have Harper around him. You have
Yeah.
Realmuto around him. Hoskins can't be any worse than he was last year. Kingery should continue to develop. And the kid's coming, Alex Baum, who was your first-round pick. He should be the everyday third baseman.
You need another pitcher.
And then you just got to figure out
Zach
what
Wheeler
to do with
would be a very good.
Zach Wheeler would be perfect.
Yeah,
and you just got to figure out something with Mickey Moniak as well. Because, man, he is not.
What are you going to do with him?
I don't know. You got to do something.
I get it, but what can you do?
Yeah.
Keep him in the minors and hope
Is he
develops.
still on the 40-man roster?
I think he's still in the minors. I think.
He's never been in. He's
I don't-
never
I
sniffed.
don't-
But
the
is he
big
on the
leagues.
roster? Because he might be
I mean,
eligible for
he's-
Rule
he's-
5 if he's not on the roster
I
yet.
think. Let me see where Mickey Moniak. I think he's still in Double-A. I think.
Hector Barrios Ortiz. How good is Avery? Avery, he's a rotational defensive end. Hector. I mean, it's nothing special. You give up a 4th-round pick.
He's not a bad. He's not a bad
In
player.
2021, maybe he gets some pressure. The hope is that he's better than Josh Sweat, which shouldn't be
Yeah,
too
he's
hard
not
to
in
do.
AAA yet, Moniak.
No, he's kicking
Jeez.
around A ball
Yeah.
still. He was the first
Yeah.
pick in the whole draft.
Yeah.
Bernard Williams wants to know how his Steel is doing tonight.
The Steelers are getting muffed up. by the
They're
Dolphins.
losing 14-0 right now by that big time team down in South Florida, the Miami Dolphins. Oh boy, that's hard to put. If I was just thinking this morning when I saw the Monday night game, I said to myself, if the Dolphins beat the Steelers, is Tomlin in trouble? Because if I were a
the
Steeler fan,
See, but the
I'd be
Steelers
saying,
are so.
I'd be saying, you know what? Pack your bags and leave, and don't come back.
Well, the Steelers. I mean, we bury this. We've been burying the Steelers fans and their organization for years. We're not the biggest Steelers guys,
No,
but
they keep getting
they're
rid
very
of talent.
They're
and
very exactly my point. They're very arrogant. They think they invented the football because they won all those Super Bowls in the 70s. Fact of the matter is, over the last 5 years, the two guys that have been making all the plays for you, Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, you showed them the door, and
Yeah,
you didn't really replace them. I mean, Juju's a nice player. James Conner's a nice
Juju,
player.
but Juju is proving that he's really
James
better
Conner,
as a second option. He's not really.
and James Conner, as much as I like him, he can't take over a game. Juju can't take over a game, and now Ben Roethlisberger is older,
And injured.
near the end. He's out for the year, but
Yeah, Rudolph has shown
seems like a
signs,
guy like
but
it seems like a guy like Tomlin, who used to play, is a hard-nosed type of coach. Seems like he's a player's type of coach. Should be able to harness these big egos of Bell and Brown, but he couldn't do it. They ran roughshod over the whole locker room, and I don't care how big of an idiot or dickhead or asshole someone is. If they make plays on Sunday, you got to try and make it work.
I agree.
It's like Michael Bennett going to the Cowboys. Like, I don't understand why Howie Roseman isn't on that deal when it only
for a
costs
seventh round
for a
pick.
7th-round pick.
A 7th-round pick is
Nothing.
no.
Is absolutely nothing. Now he goes to your enemy. Michael Bennett, stone jerk-off, totally agree, but, he was your best pass rusher down the stretch last year. Him and Chris Long. Because Brandon Graham was injured and Fletcher was good last year, but, it's different schematics coming up the middle like that. I would have taken a chance with a 7th-round pick. Even a 6th-round pick. You trump the Cowboys, you give them a 6th-round pick. You bring in the pass rusher. I'd rather have Michael Bennett here than Jannard Avery.
Yeah, but
Who
Avery
cost you a
won't start
4th round.
trouble.
I
I
don't care about
suppose,
starting trouble. You win games, nobody causes trouble.
Oh, I agree.
Why do you think Odell Beckham's causing trouble in Cleveland?
Oh, because they're losing.
Because they get smacked every week. Because they stink. And their coach has no clue.
No, Odell is also still crying because he didn't get traded to the Rams.
And, Michael Bennett caused trouble because going into the season, it looked like he was going to be a big part of the Patriots' defensive line. But as the season progressed, they figured out that they can be the best defense of all time without Michael Bennett, and he played less snaps, and he freaked out.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
He got suspended for 2 games for conduct detrimental to the team, and then they
Belichick,
shipped his ass to Dallas.
Belichick doesn't put up with that crap.
But if Belichick needed him to be productive, he would have. They don't need him. They don't need him.
He did suspend Malcolm Butler for the Super Bowl that one year against the Eagles.
He did.
And I think that cost the Patriots the game.
It might have, but
we'll never really
Malcolm
know.
Butler? He got a big contract from Tennessee,
but
he's
he
not
played
really that good.
Well, he played, but he had a good year that year. I'm just saying, I don't know if that would have made a difference. Probably not.
Bob Brickman,
he'll do whatever he will do whatever's best for the team, regardless of your talent.
But Bob Brinkman checks in, getting Jernigan's back, which looks like he might be able to play against the Bears. That's going to help the D-line, and I agree with that. He's a solid player to play next to Fletcher Cox because they have a black hole next to Fletcher Cox.
He'll help. He'll definitely help. I mean, as I said, bottom line with the Eagles this week, don't turn the ball over, especially in the red zone. If you have to play conservatively, just try to play mistake-free football. The Bears' offense is going to make mistakes.
I said,
they're not good. They're going to gift wrap you. They're going to gift wrap you some opportunities. When they gift wrap you those opportunities, make sure you score. And as I said, ball protection is the absolute key to victory this weekend.
Deion Brown thinks Howie is slacking. We could have gave that to Jacksonville for Ramsey. But, hey, can't cry over spilled milk. We have 15 draft picks in 2020. In the words of Chris Carter, come on, man. I don't know if they really have that many. But that's a lot of picks in one draft.
Yeah, but are
slacking,
they mostly back end picks, or there's some?
The Rams gave up 2 first-round picks and a 4th-round pick for Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, but Jalen Ramsey is right now the best cornerback in the league.
I understand that, but I guess I can't really fault him for not meeting that price.
No, and I'll tell you what. How good is Cooper Kupp? And I've been saying
terrific.
this. I've been saying this all season. Hey, that play he made yesterday.
Yeah, the flea flicker.
Yeah.
And then he housed it.
Yeah, I mean, he's unbelievable.
Bob Brickman says Mitchell Trubisky is not that good. I agree with that.
He's terrible.
I mean, look, this is a game Sunday at home against a team that looks lost, circling the drain. It's
a do or die game for the Bears. To be sure,
you got to think that they're going to give their best. They have a lot of good veterans on that defense.
This is the circle of the wagon
You're going to get their best shot, and you have to win the game. If you're 5-4 going into the bye with a big stretch of games coming up, then you have my attention. Yesterday's game, I'm sorry. It just didn't get my attention. I expected them to win. They should have won. The Bills are the worst 5-1 team in the history of the league if you look at who they've beaten and how they've beaten them. They weren't capable of taking advantage of the Eagles' deficiencies, which is the secondary. I was surprised they didn't run the ball better with the linebacking core that the Eagles linebacker core the state's in. Just
the defensive line.
31-13. I commend the Eagles.
The defensive line did a terrific job yesterday.
I commend the Eagles for going up to Buffalo and winning a game in convincing fashion that they had to win and looking good doing it, running the football, playing good defense, and taking the turnover. But I'm not back to drinking green Kool-Aid for breakfast because of that win. I'm sorry. I'm just not. You beat the Bears. You go to 5-4 before the bye.
What they did was they stayed relevant.
Then you have my attention. You have a winning record before the bye. You beat the Bears at home. You're going to the Patriots game and the Seahawks game. Then you have my attention.
Yeah, but you know what? Dallas has to play the Patriots too.
Yes, and they have to play the Seahawks as well.
Yeah.
And Dallas has to play both those games on the road.
Yeah, I mean, they both have to play the same games. So as far as that's concerned, listen, both you guys had your screw ups. Okay, you had your screw up against the Atlanta Falcons. The Cowboys had their screw up against the New York Jets. Okay, so both of you screwed up one game.
Well,
So right now the difference is one game as far as because they beat you on their home field.
all right. We got to take a break. We're going to take a break. We're going to be back. We're talking some NBA, some NHL, MLB, and do our early leans previewing next weekend's action of college football. Sports Hounds, A2D Radio. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back. A2D Radio, Real Talk Studios, Mount E from New Jersey, with you till 10 o'clock, final hour. Brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, certified public accountants. There are public accountants, make them yours too. Visit GibsonMayerLLC.com for more information on their services. David Roscoe wants to know why Kyle is not longer on A2D Radio Sports Hounds. Kyle is not only not on A2D Radio Sports Hounds, he is not with A2D Radio, period. It is what it is, Brad.
Right.
Some guys fit and can get along, and some guys can't, and you got to drop them. But that's the situation. But me and Brad will be with you here Monday night. Maybe we'll bring in a special guest
We will
here and there from the A2D array of hosts. But tag team champs, Brad and Rob, with you Monday nights on the Sports Hounds, 10 o'clock, 8 to 10 o'clock. Sixers in action tonight. Third quarter just underway. Sixers
nice comeback.
Sixers really slow start. They're up 170-69 on the Hawks on the road. Hawks are a pretty good team.
Yeah, they came out red hot. Oh, was that the shimmy that?
Yeah, Embiid throwing
Embiid
down,
doing the Stephon
Shimmying.
Marbury shimmy.
Yep.
Excuse me,
There he
the
is.
Stephon Curry
The
shimmy.
shimmy. He can shimmy if he's going to dunk like that.
Oh yeah.
Of course, Joe missed the game on Saturday against the Detroit Pistons. Sixers were able to get the win. 2-0 are the Sixers on this young season.
Win. They're gonna win a lot of games.
Do you think they're going to get the 60 wins?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
That was one of the poll questions on one of Tommy's shows.
Yeah, I think they're gonna
AM
get
and the
the
PM.
I think they're going to get to 60
wins. 60's a lot.
Yeah, I know
But-
it is, but they're a very good team. The East is not.
The East isn't really that good.
No, it's not. It's not loaded the way the West is. There's really them, the Bucks, and maybe the Pacers.
Pacers, the Nets. The Nets,
The Nets are off to
they're
a
off to a
slow
start.
Boy, Kyrie had 50 in a game, and it's the first game, and lost. And they lost a tough one last night to the Grizzlies. Grizzlies hit a 3-point. Who
Kyrie
was it?
got to Crowder.
Yeah, the last night. What's it? That little point guard they drafted from Wright State.
Morant.
Yeah, John Morant went nuts last night, and
He's exciting.
Yeah, the Nets had no
He's
answer.
gonna be a
for
good
him.
player.
Yeah,
Kyrie
killed him.
was. Kyrie was.
Kyrie
traded.
has been nothing short of brilliant for the Nets, but
He got stuffed at the buzzer.
yeah, but when the problem with the Nets right now is that Kyrie is the whole show. Kyrie's got to make sure that he doesn't forget to get other guys involved. He can't do it by himself. But he's been absolutely what a stupid pass by Atlanta. But he's been outstanding. He's been outstanding this year. He really has.
Who's that?
Kyrie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a talented playmaker.
Yeah, he is. Boy, I'll tell you what. When they get when they get healthy next season, boy, oh boy, they're going to be tough.
And then we get a few more comments to run through. Deion Brown, Cooper Kupp, whom I wanted to drafted. He was working out with Carson and all, but the Rams jumped, if I remember correctly, and snagged him. Bob Brinkman.
He's unbelievable,
Oh,
Cooper
yeah.
Kupp.
If Sproles does not come back, that is a big weakness. Look at the non-fielded punch yesterday. I wouldn't worry about the punch yesterday, Bob. I mean, it was really windy. It's hard to field punts, and it didn't really hurt them. And I agree with you. They don't really have a return man. Maybe Howie can address that at the deadline.
If we had a running back that was good at that, looking at you, Donnell Pumphrey, you could have been our future Sproles, but
Well, that's the draft that that's the draft
Yeah.
that kills you right now because
Yeah.
you pick Sidney Jones
right.
in the second round after he tore his Achilles, which still to this day baffles my mind.
Now the one part I know people are talking about the Sidney Jones pick, but the one that killed me the most
He blows, Frank.
was not having
he's not good.
our own third round pick. Because looking at that third round, that of the players taken off the
Yeah,
board,
but you just posted in the chat.
Yeah.
They traded for Jernigan. which
yeah,
helped
there
them
was
win
the
Super
Jernigan,
Bowl.
which was a great trade. But then looking at who got taken, you had Kamara at 67, Cup at 69. Nice. Let's see. Who else got taken? I mean, you had a couple linebackers, Duke Riley, Alex Anzalone, both still, well, I mean, Duke Riley now on the Eagles. Anzalone still a serviceable linebacker. Then you have Kareem Hunt, 86. Chris Godwin at 84. Let's see. Who else?
Well, there's some good players in the third.
There are some.
round.
There are a lot of players. Kenny Galladay at 96. Then you go into the comp picks. Then you
That
have,
Galladay, is that the guy on Detroit?
Yeah, he's
The
good.
receiver? Boy.
and then
he
you
is
had
good.
Rasul Douglas, which we took at 99.
That draft kills you
Yeah.
because then you have Pumphrey,
And then James
You
Conner
have
at 105. Yeah.
and then
you
you
had a
also
chance.
have
That third round, man. That third round will haunt me.
That third round was loaded.
Yeah.
Who
and that's
did
why
the
you're
Giants
that's
draft in
why
that-
you're the
that
oldest
round?
team in the
Nobody-
league.
Yeah.
The Giants didn't draft anybody good in that round, did they?
In the third round,
Yeah, I'll bet they didn't draft
your
anybody
New York Giants selected. Gotta find it in that third round. I don't think they had anybody that third round.
good. It's just so typical.
Oh, never mind. Davis Webb with the
Oh.
87th overall pick.
Not even on the team.
Oh,
God.
jeez. Remember when everybody was high on him, too?
Davis Webb.
Davis
We
Webb.
could have had Kamara. We could have had Cooper Cup. Could you imagine if we had Beckham and Cup?
Wow.
Foolish Demon says that the Eagles will have my attention if they beat the Patriots. They're not going to beat the Patriots. It's just.
Well, they'll get everybody's attention if they
Oh,
do
yeah.
that, but I don't
it's
think
just,
that's going to
it's
happen.
just not going to happen. You got to show me you belong with the Patriots, and you got to find a way to beat the Seahawks and the Cowboys, get yourself to 10 wins, and then hope that that's enough.
Yeah.
Which it might not be.
No, that's the problem. I mean, they're gonna have to win the division, and they're gonna have to hope Dallas trips again. Because I mean, there are two games that they got to win. They got to win the Cowboy game. They got to win the Seattle game, and they can't be giving away games that they have no business losing. Losing the game to the Lions, bad loss. Losing the game to the Falcons, bad loss. Can't do that. I mean, it's understandable to lose to the Vikings in Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota's a pretty darn good team. You won a great game in Green Bay. That was a huge win. But I mean, they've had some just some mind-bogglingly bad performances this year, and
Okay, so
That has
let's
to
go
stop.
through these. Let's go through these schedules. The Cowboys are 3. Cowboys are 4-3. They were off yesterday. They're at the Giants next Monday night. It'll be a nice live reaction show for you, Brad. Giants Cowboys.
Oh, seeing me get aggravated only.
Yeah, it'd be great. Well, hopefully you show up and can beat.
I hope so.
Those
That
pansies.
would certainly be a welcome.
All right, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna give the Cowboys a win.
You're
next
not
Monday.
exactly going out on a limb for that.
So that's 5-3. Then they're home against the Vikings.
I think they lose that game. Yeah, I think the Vikings will beat them.
Okay, that's 5-4. Then they're at Detroit. I think they win that
I think they
game.
win that game.
That's 6-4.
Right.
At the Patriots, loss.
Loss.
6-5. Bills at home, that's a win.
Bears
7-5.
Bears, that's a
At
win.
the Bears, that's a win. 8-5.
Rams in L.A.
That's
or
at home. That's in.
I think that's a loss.
8-6.
That's why they got it. Oh, and you know they'll beat the Redskins for 9-6. So that Eagle game is going
It's
to
all
be
going to come down to the Eagles.
week 16 is going to be the key game.
At the Link, December 22nd, 4:25 on Fox. That's going to
Yeah.
be for the division, as long as the Eagles don't do what they're supposed to do.
As long as the Eagles don't go losing games to horrific teams, you know.
Let me bring up the Eagles schedule here. The Eagles are 4-4. The Eagles are 4-4. They have
Excuse me.
They have the Bears on Sunday. Got to be a win.
Better be.
got to be a win. 5-4. Week 10 bye, still 5-4. Patriots home
That's
loss.
a loss.
5-5.
5-5.
Seahawks home
I'm gonna give them a loss.
5-6. At Miami
That's
6-6.
a win. 6-6.
Giants
That's a win. 7-6.
at Redskins
8-6. That's your game right there.
and then 9 you beat the Giants in week 17.
That's 9-6.
That's 9-6.
The Cowboy game at the Link
So the Cowboy game at the Link
is
going
going
to
to decide.
all the marbles.
That Cowboy game at the Link is going to decide everything.
So you have to have no more than 6 losses at the time of that game.
Right. And then you have to go and make sure you take care of business against the Cowboys. The Cowboys have had their problems at the Link. So we'll see how that.
Cowboys haven't really been having any problems with the Eagles of late.
No? Yeah, that's
0.
true.
As long as Zeke's active, they beat the pants off us every time. Bob Brinkman checks in with a Sixers point. Al Horford will teach Embiid how to play low. Well, Saturday night, when Embiid couldn't go because of his ankle, is exactly why you sign Al Horford. Is exactly why you sign Al Horford to all that money. He played fantastic. He was a defensive presence. He was an offensive presence. He totally lived up to his contract, and that's really the reason they won the game because Ben had a not-so-good 3 quarters, and then he closed the game strong, and Tobias Harris played really well. So that's why you sign Al Horford for when Embiid can't go and you still have a chance. You don't have to start Kyle O'Quinn or Boban Marjanovic. You got a solid second center. And then when Embiid and Horford are on the court, the Sixers are just so long defensively that it's going to be tough to score on them. So that's where that's my thoughts on Horford. But getting back to the Eagles, trade deadline's 4 o'clock tomorrow. I don't really see a big trade coming.
I think they'll do something. I don't think it's going to be anything major,
It's
but
going
I
to be
think
another Jannard Gentry type of move. It's not going to be anything major. Like I don't think Darius Slay's coming to walk through the door. I don't think
that would be shocking if that happens.
Von Miller or Chris Harris is walking through the door. If I had to pick one position for them to add, it would be receiver. I want to give Carson more weapons. But does Robbie Anderson really make this team?
Oh, Robbie Anderson is a good player.
You think? He hasn't been playing good at all.
Yeah, but look at his quarterback. His quarterback was, okay, they had Darnold the last couple of weeks, but I mean that piece of garbage that was playing quarterback before, that guy was terrible. Luke, what the hell was his name?
Falk.
Luke Falk.
I mean, that guy was beyond bad. Darnold has definitely struggled his last 2 weeks. He's got to play better. But
I don't think Sam Darnold's that good.
Yeah, I think he's going to be okay. I mean, he was really sick. I mean, you got to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt there.
But I mean, he was really bad again yesterday against the Jaguars.
Jaguars still have a pretty good defense, though.
I get it, but
when the Jets offensive line,
I was never a fan of them.
The Jets offensive line,
Those
is
USC
really
quarterbacks.
Bad. Yeah, no, you're not wrong about that.
Bob Brinkman, I think we need a speed receiver. I agree with you.
Yep.
Because it looks like Deshaun Jackson might play on Sunday, but I just don't know how effective he's going to be with that.
And can he get through a game without getting hurt?
That's a valid question. That's a valid question, Brad.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, Robbie Anderson. I like Robbie Anderson. I'd be surprised if the Jets traded him. To be honest with you, I think they want to keep him.
His name's been all over the.
I know that, but I do think that the Jets have to keep some of their he's one of their best weapons. I mean, I would be disappointed if I'm a Jet fan. I would be a little disappointed if they traded him because you know what, next year you're looking for next year with the Jets, but I think he's somebody that they could definitely build with. He's a pretty good player.
So you're high on you.
I still am high on Darnold. My problem with the Jets is that they're like the Giants. Their offensive line is dreadful.
Yeah, can't really disagree with that.
And their offensive line.
And they had that mess with Kelechi Osemele.
Yeah,
they were trying to tell him not to get surgery. Then he got surgery, and the surgeon said it was even worse than
and then
the
Jets
anticipated.
are mad.
And then the Jets released him.
Yeah,
they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, well, the Jets.
They wanted him to power through it, and he clearly couldn't.
Yeah, well, that's Gase. You know, Gase is one of the dumbest.
Is that Gase as well? That seems like a medical staff problem.
No, that's Gase insisting that because Gase wanted him to play. You know, and he's horrible. I mean, how does a guy like that get so much power? I don't get it. Did nothing with the Dolphins.
No, it was horrible.
So how does he get all this power with the Jets? I mean, the guy's a certified idiot. And this guy's running that team.
The Jets just aren't that smart.
No, Christopher Johnson. I mean, what a disgrace. How can a guy that
they signed
J&J? How can a guy be smart enough to run J&J and be dumb enough to make an executive decision like that for your football team and get 80,000 fans that come to those games every week completely and utterly pissed off? I mean, it's amazing.
It is, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any better because I don't think they have a quarterback. I've never been a Sam Darnold fan. I've said it a million times on this program. Not a Sam Darnold guy. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't get it. I saw it a little bit in college, but that's college. Dwayne Haskins killed it in college because he's throwing the receivers that are 10 yards wide open.
Well, yeah.
I mean, how can you evaluate someone?
Well,
based
remember
on that?
Remember that guy Barrett? That was the quarterback for Ohio State.
Yeah, R.J. Barrett. J.T. Barrett.
J.T. Barrett.
R.J. Barrett's on the
R.J.
Knicks.
Barrett's on the Knicks, but
He's
I mean,
looking pretty good.
I like J.T. Barrett. I thought he was really good, and he's third string quarterback for the Saints now. So I mean, just because they're good in college doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be good in the pros.
I agree. All right, just about 9:30. Let's get to what we do every week to close our show. Early leans, a way too early preview of next weekend's college football and pro football games. Not much brewing here on the college landscape. They do have one monster matchup.
By the way, before we get into that,
yeah,
I just want to say something.
Go ahead.
About the Notre Dame wimpy Irish, okay?
Yeah, they got smoked by Michigan.
How do you get beat that badly by a team
that
almost lost to Army?
I mean,
look,
I'm a Notre Dame guy.
That is a disgraceful game.
If I had to pick a college team to be affiliated with, since I didn't go to a big-time school, it would be Notre Dame. But, that beatdown's been brewing. Michigan was going to show up in a big game sooner or later.
But that is just
they got smacked.
Disgraceful. How do you get beat that bad? I mean, come on. Michigan is just not that good.
Well, Notre Dame's not that good either. They gave it the old college try against Georgia earlier in the year, but they got outclassed in the end.
Yeah, but I mean, Michigan almost lost to Army. This is my whole point, Rob, okay?
Yeah.
Army is like a good mid-level program. They're not by any stretch of the imagination an elite program, okay? And that team gave Michigan all they could handle. They almost won that game, okay? With a couple of breaks, they could have won that game. And meanwhile, you get slaughtered. You slaughter Notre Dame. That does not bound well for the Irish. They can forget about the playoffs.
That's their second loss, and the committee has showed us in years past that once you get your second loss,
that's it. It's
go
over.
home. And then
Oklahoma losing as well.
See you later because they play cupcakes and they lose to Kansas State.
Yeah. Yep. So they can forget it now. And
now see you later.
Now you're looking at probably
Texas
LSU.
Lost over the weekend too, which makes that.
And I think they dropped out of the top 25 after that loss.
Well, they should.
Texas.
That's from what I heard.
They should. You know what? Who got hurt for the Sixers?
Is that Shake Milton?
That is Shake.
All right. Well,
Hopefully
could be
he's
worse.
okay.
You don't like to see anyone get hurt, but
Hopefully he'll be okay.
it's not
All right.
Embiid or Ben
But
or Mike
now you're
Scott
looking
or,
at the classic in Tuscaloosa
Yeah.
between LSU and
Yes,
Alabama.
Both
That's gonna be
teams,
fun.
both teams are off this week.
Yeah.
And then they will be. Tua should be back.
Yeah.
So you're going to have the.
That's at LSU, man.
That's going to be
LSU is
a
the
very
best-
good matchup.
LSU
I
is
thought
the
that's
best
not in
team I've seen.
Tuscaloosa. I thought it was in.
I'm fairly certain it's in LSU.
Let me see. Let's
I
take.
thought they said that game
Let's
was in
see.
Tuscaloosa.
Let's see what Coach O says on where this game's going to be. It's in
I
Tuscaloosa.
love that.
It is in Tuscaloosa.
It is in Tuscaloosa.
It's in Bama.
It is
Yeah,
in Bama.
Exactly. That's what I
All
thought.
right, so
That
I mean-
is the college game
that's the game of the
of
year.
the year.
That's the game of the year. LSU is the best team I've seen all year.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I agree.
They look
yeah.
amazing.
They really look impressive.
They have that safety number 7, Grant Deplete.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked good in the Eagles uniform. He's probably going to go in the top 10 though.
Yeah.
I mean, they just have athletes all over the field.
Oh, yeah.
And if I had to cast a Heisman vote, I would vote for their quarterback,
I mean,
Joe Burrow.
yeah, Burrow was really
Burrow
good.
looks really good.
I'll tell you what.
Didn't have a
everything.
banner day last
What
week against Auburn.
what a performance against Auburn though defensively.
Oh, they were all over the
I
field.
mean, man, that team.
Auburn is a good team.
I know they are. I know they are. That's what I'm saying. They pretty much had that game in hand most of the way.
And then the upstart Minnesota Gophers are going to play Ohio State at home
Oh, they're at Penn State
this week.
this week.
Yeah, they're at Penn State then.
They're in Happy Valley.
Yeah.
Well, that has huge playoff implications too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
especially if
Penn
you're Penn State. I mean, you
Penn State, if Penn State runs the table, they
Yeah.
they could get into the playoffs.
Penn State's defense is for real.
yeah.
Yeah,
They are for
I'm
real.
not too fully sold on Minnesota yet. I do like PJ Fleck, but I think this is
Where's
going to be it's going to be a real challenge for the Gophers.
Why don't I see that game here on my app? What time does it start?
It is a. Oh, that's why.
That's not this week.
It's next week. Well then, never mind then.
Okay. When's
I'm
Penn
sorry.
State
They play.
playing
They play Ohio. They don't play Ohio. They play Penn State.
When does Penn State play Ohio State?
Penn State plays Ohio State on the
November-
23rd,
mid-November.
November 23rd.
Okay, so that's
And that game, that's in Happy Valley, not
Uh,
Minnesota.
Never mind. It's at Minnesota. I
That's
don't
what
know.
I'm
I don't
saying.
know why I'm misreading that. I
I
don't
think
know
Penn
why.
State is playing at Minnesota and
I'm just
at-
like so excited
in
for that
2
game.
weeks.
That's going to be very
No, because Minnesota
yeah.
wants game day to come.
Yeah,
But
that's
game
right.
day's not going to come because they're going to go to Alabama versus LSU.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's
Although I
Well,
would
never
like to
mind.
see it. I would like to see it in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Change
Yeah.
it up.
well but how can you not the top two teams
I
in the
know.
country.
I get it. Well, Clemson. They should
Yeah, are
have
they
it- should
are
have
they
it-
a fraud team or are they really that good?
Well,
Because
they're
they don't
gonna-
play anybody
They're
either.
going to take on Wofford this weekend.
As I said, when do they actually
They're
play
47-point favorites.
somebody? When do they play somebody?
It's a nice little
Never.
tune-up
Never.
Playoffs.
until the playoff. Yeah.
They beat Texas A&M, who was ranked
Well,
at the time.
Texas A&M's okay.
Other matchups.
They were
I
ranked. They were
like.
ranked at the time.
Ah, there we go. Now I see it. Okay.
All right.
Well,
Well,
you really-
let's get back to your
You
leagues.
get two college games that are really of substance this week. You go out to the Pac-12. Utah, who's a playoff contender, they're a really solid team.
Yeah.
They're going to play Washington in Washington. They're favored by 1 point.
That's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
I'll take Utah. Minus-
Then
I'm sorry, minse 3.5.
the one game I'm looking at, I got to look at my alma mater, Western Kentucky. They're going for bowl eligibility, so
There you go.
I got to give them some love. And they take on Florida Atlantic. They're favored by 2.5.
Western Kentucky is.
Yep.
There you go. You get yourself into a bowl game.
And interesting enough, I've been hitting the picks for the past 3 weeks right now involving my Hilltoppers. So
Nice.
yeah,
So
last
you
week
got-
last week I took the
got-
spread
You got a
and
W this week?
the over. Yeah, it's been game parlays with them for the past 3 weeks. So I will take them on the money line and the over whenever the
you
over is going
go.
to be released.
From Frank's mouth to God's ears.
But it's going to be interesting to see
Western
what Lane
Kentucky
see
is
what Lane
going
Kiffin's
bowling.
going. I hope they go bowling. This will
I
be
hope
their
they
first.
go bowling too.
Yeah, I think this will be their first. I mean, to kick off the Tyson Hilton era, with your first year going to a bowl game, I think that's going to be worthwhile. Especially this is a good young team. I think it's a step in the right direction for Tyson Helton.
By
as
the way,
head
did you
coach.
notice my team finally won a game?
Yes.
Rutgers, they beat Liberty.
They actually beat somebody.
Sorry,
Nice
Greg.
to see that they could beat somebody. It's just, they're so bad. They're so bad.
They have no players.
Yeah.
No.
Getting back to the games that matter,
Yes. Yes. Well,
not Rutgers.
yeah, well,
Or
at
Western
least
Kentucky.
they got 2 wins this
Well,
year.
you got a big one in the SEC. It's the de facto SEC East Championship game. The Georgia Bulldogs are going to take on the Florida Gators on a neutral field. And
The cocktail party.
the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, the name of the rivalry.
Oh, I think I like the Bulldogs in that game.
I kind of like the Gators getting 5.5.
They're just not that good though.
Well, they smoked Auburn,
Yeah.
and they
Just barely beat Miami.
yeah, but that's a big time rivalry. I mean, that's Miami's Super Bowl, and Miami's not awful. They're not good.
They're not good though.
They're not awful. I don't know. Georgia's just like I picked Georgia to win the national championship. I bet on them to win the national
Well,
championship.
Georgia's already got a loss. They can't afford to lose any
Yes,
more
they
games.
lost to South Carolina, which is
Whoa.
awful.
Are you all right?
Man. Yeah. Hopefully the chair's okay. I fell off the books. But Florida, and they stuck with LSU pretty good too. They lost, but
Yeah.
they hung with them. I like Florida to win that game and be in the SEC championship game against either a rematch with LSU or against Bama.
So now here's a question for you: does the loser of Florida and LSU of Bama and LSU, does that necessarily knock them out of playoff contention?
No, because that would be the one loss.
Yeah.
It is tough though because
it's tough because 2 SEC teams though. Are they going
yes,
to take 2
but they're
SEC
both in
teams?
the SEC West. I mean, I don't see how you can put a team in the playoff that didn't even make the
Right.
SEC conference
I
championship.
mean, it happened. It happened a couple of years
Look,
ago.
If Ohio State or Penn State goes undefeated and wins the Big
Yeah.
Ten,
One of them is
the
going to
Big Ten champ is going to be in the playoff.
It's going to be a
Oh,
loss.
absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
You have to put one
Unless
of
if
them
The
something
SEC
ridiculous
champ-
happens. Yeah.
The SEC champ is going to be in the playoff.
Yeah.
in. Right.
I mean,
Clemson,
Clemson.
is going to be in the
Yeah.
playoff.
Then it's up to Oregon if they somehow win
Then
out.
you have Oregon, Utah, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma
the
blew it
loser-
with that loss.
Yeah, but they still only have one
Man,
loss. If
looking
they
at
win the
some
Big
of the
12.
outside looking in, some undefeated teams. I mean, Minnesota, they could shock Penn State.
Well,
in
what
a
if
couple
Bama?
weeks.
What if Bama loses to LSU and Auburn?
Yeah,
Well,
Bama's going to be
Bama's
out.
got, then
Bam-
Bama
Bama's
would be
gonna be
Bama's
out.
out.
Yeah. And then
And
SMU,
then LSU would. Go,
SMU,
I don't know
8-0.
how that would work. I guess Bama would still go
Yeah.
into the.
They'll get a New Year's Six bowl,
But
regardless.
Bama, if they beat LSU and lose to Auburn,
Ooh,
then
somebody else is hurt now.
Alabama would still go to the SEC championship game. If I have it figured out right in my head, and they would be favored over Florida or Georgia. So Alabama could get there with 2 losses if they win the SEC championship. There's no way the winner of that SEC championship game is getting left out of the playoff. I don't care if they have 4 losses. That's the best conference in America by far, and that champion should
Oh, that champion's going to make
should
it.
be in.
But if
I don't care if they're 500.
if
They're in.
think I
the
got this.
Alabama LSU loser could still get in.
Yes.
So that
It's not their second loss. Look, the committee has told us year after year after year that conference championships don't matter. It's good that be in your conference championship game because you get another chance for a marquee win.
right.
But the main criteria that the playoff committee has told us since its inception, don't lose that second game.
Right.
If you have more than 1 loss, you ain't getting in. Even if you win your conference championship. Now, it's still young. There's not a lot of history behind it, but that's kind of the precedent they've set. Because remember the one year Penn State beat Ohio State, but they also lost to Pittsburgh, who stunk,
Yep.
and they got left out of the playoffs?
Yeah, the Penn State fans were furious that year.
Yeah, and Captain Lou called the show like 4 times that day to argue with me about why Penn State should be in.
Yes.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy.
No, I know.
If
I
Penn
know.
State beat Pitt, then they probably would have been in the playoff.
Yeah, they would have been.
So, because Penn State won the Big Ten that year.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
they got in the conference championship game on tiebreaker because they beat Ohio State.
But they lost to a crappy team. It's the same thing as if you remember many moons ago when Notre Dame lost that game to Boston College.
Yeah.
And that cost them a national championship.
Uh-huh.
And that was after they, I think after they went to Florida State and beat Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went and blew that game against Boston College. They
Was that
didn't win a
it was that the Ty Willingham team?
I believe so.
Yeah. Because they were kind of undefeated out of nowhere, and then they dropped.
Mm-hmm.
They dropped the game, and
Was it Florida State or Florida? Because wasn't Charlie Ward the quarterback back then? Or am I,
don't know.
thinking
they
of a
used to
different
play
team?
Florida State a lot.
Yeah, they
Not
used to
so
play
much Florida. So I would have.
Yeah, Charlie Ward was on Florida, so couldn't have been him. Couldn't have been them.
That was way before Ty Willingham.
Yeah.
Ty Willingham. That was before my time.
Yeah, no, this was they had lost the game to Boston College, and I just remembered that was.
It's a shame that Clemson is going to get in the playoff after not playing anybody
Right.
and being in a terrible conference, which I guess isn't really their fault. But I mean, like you're playing Wofford this late in the year. I hate that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The over/under is 59.5, and the spread's 47. I don't think I've ever seen like a
So that means they're expecting
similarity like
so
that.
40. So they're expecting 56-0. If it's 56-7,
Right.
you win.
Like I would almost take
So
Wofford.
if Wofford scores,
how am I supposed to turn down 47 points?
well, if Wofford can score a touchdown, then you're
gonna cover.
You'll cover. That's going to be the whole. That's going to be the whole game right there. If they score a touchdown, then they cover, but they may not though.
Trying to look. SMU and Memphis. That doesn't have playoff implications.
Well,
They're
it
two
does
ranked teams.
determines the West for the American Conference. If SMU decides to win out, they could easily.
They're a good team.
They're a
watched
really
them
good
against
team.
Temple. They score a
They're
lot.
surprisingly good.
They have that old quarterback from Texas who didn't really work out there, whose name escapes me right now.
By the way, can I give an update?
Yes, it looks like your Knicks won a game.
The New York Knickerbockers have gotten in the win column,
Shane Boucher. Oh my goodness!
Coming back-
wow!
Bouchel, that's his name.
Wow!
coming back from an 18-point first quarter
Good for them.
deficit,
You're not tanking right.
led by
That's going to be
Bobby.
the headline in the Post.
Led by Bobby Portis's 28 points.
He's a good player.
He is a good player, and RJ Barrett with 19 points and 15 rebounds.
He's a really good player. That's a good.
He's. I'll tell you what.
I know
they
you were
got,
disappointed you didn't get the first pick and missed out
yeah,
on
but
Zion.
he's good though.
RJ Barrett
he's
is
good. He's.
It was a
You could
three-player
build-
draft.
you
and
could build
you
your-
got one of the three.
Yeah, you could build a team around him.
All right, so that really you got Florida and Georgia. I like Florida.
Yeah, I gotta go
like
with
Florida
Georgia.
win the game and go to the SEC championship game, and then you have Utah and Washington.
Where is that game at?
It's in Washington.
Utah's pretty darn good though.
Utah is solid. They got a quarterback who's athletic. They got this running back Zach Moss who's just a beast, and
It's gonna be tough for them to
it's
win.
a shame
win there, though.
Washington kind of dropped a couple games. This should have been a higher profile matchup if Washington did their part and beat the teams they were supposed to.
Yeah, they've been a little inconsistent
mean,
this year.
Oregon could get there too, and they play Washington next week. And that's probably going to be the Pac-12 championship game will probably be Utah and Oregon, which could be first spot in the playoff.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, there was one game I like this week. The Rainbow Warriors of Hawaii
Yeah.
over Fresno State.
Over Fresno State. That's coming up.
Yep.
Why?
Because it's in
Let us
Hawaii.
in. You show your work. It's in Hawaii.
It's in Hawaii, and Hawaii never loses to that team at home.
All right. You heard it here.
You heard it here.
All right. Week
Now you
9.
may have to stay up to. Yeah, you're gonna have to be up at 2 in the morning
You
to
get a
watch the
nap.
game.
Love Hawaii football.
Hey,
love
they-
late night college football.
They can score.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's such a chase game too. Like when
Yeah.
you're down a couple $100 and you
Hey,
Throw
let's see
on-
what Hawaii's doing.
Hawaii's playing at 10:30. Let's get it back right here.
10:30.
Yeah.
No, they're not
10:30.
playing at 10:30.
Get it back right here.
They're playing at 2 in the morning
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Your last licks on college football
Yeah,
Saturday. to get the
exactly.
something going. All right, let's get to Week 9 NFL.
What is the line? Do you know what the line is?
Hawaii,
in that game?
Fresno
For Hawaii?
State.
Yeah.
Here, I'll get it right here. I got to go to Week 11. It's probably the last game. Hawaii, Fresno, Hawaii, a slim 2.5-point favorite.
There you go.
Wow.
Is that your lock? That's your lock?
Love that game.
Love that game.
Love
Brad
that
likes
game.
Hawaii. All right, let's look at the NFL slate for Week 9. Way too early gambling preview of Week 9. For Week 9, Thursday night game, the Niners are going to travel to Arizona, take on the Cardinals. 9.5-point spread. I don't see it being a problem for the Niners.
No, because the Cardinals won't score.
So
I mean,
consensus there.
Yeah, they won't score. So and the Niners will score enough points to cover the spread. 16-3 Niners. Something like that.
Getting to Sunday, the Houston Texans are going to travel to Jacksonville. Jacksonville, a 2.5-point home dog. I think Houston is good
really
enough to win and cover that number. Houston, big loss, losing J.J. Watt for the season to a torn pec.
Again, you
Sunday.
think he's going to retire?
He's missed 50% of the games in the last 4 years. He can't stay healthy.
You think he's going to retire? Because you know what? He'd be good on TV.
Torn pec.
He's always getting hurt every year.
Yeah.
And now they don't have him, and they don't have what's his name? They traded to
Clowney.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Clowney got traded to Seattle. But they've got
Pass
enough
rush.
guys.
They got enough guys.
They've got enough
Good
guys.
team. They'll be in wild. Look, the wild card in the AFC is just wide open.
Yeah, I think they'll get there. Deshaun Watson. I know he had a horrible playoff game last year, but you know what? He's still a really, really solid quarterback.
All right, the Jets travel to Miami, in kind of a stinker.
The toilet bowl.
Kind of a game. Miami's a 5-point home dog, and I'll take the Dolphins.
I'll take
as
the Dolphins.
Home dog,
Yeah, I'll
plus
take
5.
the Dolphins.
Are they still whooping up on the Steelers
It's
here?
14-3 the last time.
It is
I
now
looked.
14-10.
Oh, who got in
Uh-oh,
there?
here-
Who got in
Mason
there?
Rudolph threw a pass for a 45-yard touchdown
Deontay Johnson.
to Deontay Johnson.
I have a lot of stock in Deontay Johnson for fantasy. He's on my bench. I didn't start him. He's not really good enough to start.
Well, he's one of those guys if you get
And
injuries.
I think it looks safe to say that I have one in my fantasy
Proud of you.
matchup. There's no way Mark Walton is going to put up 32 PPR points
He's got
in the second half.
He's got 15 yards rushing,
I'll take it.
and he's got.
You know what the bet is right here, though, is take the Steelers in the second half.
Yeah. The Steelers are going to win the game. It's 14-10. They'll come back and win the game. They'll wear them down.
Yeah.
They can listen. The Steelers can run the ball, and as we previewed before the game started, the Dolphins are giving up 160 yards on the ground a game. The Steelers are going to wear them down, and they'll win the game. Now, whether they cover or not, well, they're going to have to do a lot of. They got a lot of work to do that.
Well, they need the 2 touchdowns. No, they need more than that.
They need 17 points.
17
minimum.
points. All right, back to Week 9, NFL. Washington Redskins, they're going to travel to Buffalo. Buffalo laying 10. I'm comfortable laying that number. Bills will beat the Skins by more than 10.
The Skins have a good defense. I think the Skins keep it close.
Maybe you're right. I'll take Buffalo.
I would take the Skins in the 10.
Tennessee travels to Carolina. Boy, you got to think Carolina's
Well, Carolina's going to come
gonna
back.
be loaded up.
Yeah.
51-13, they lose to the Niners.
Yeah,
Good
they're
grief. Laying 3.5. Kyle Allen finally threw his first interception. He followed that up by 2 more. Just a horrible game for the Panthers. I think the Panthers win and cover that game, and I hope Kyle Allen rights the ship because I don't want to see Cam Newton play
Well,
for the Panthers.
I'll tell you what. The 49ers right now are a
Dude's
wrecking
clown.
crew.
All right, the Minnesota Vikings are traveling to Arrowhead. I'm going to take the Chiefs
I'll take
minus
the Chiefs.
2.5.
I'll take
here.
the Chiefs.
It looks like they're going to be with Matt Moore one more week, and then Mahomes is going to be good to go for Week 10. That's kind of the reports coming out. But he could play this week. The Chiefs have lost 3 straight road games after losing to Green Bay on Sunday Night Football. I don't think it'll be 4 straight. That's a tough place to play. I think Minnesota's kind of due for a loss. Matt Moore actually looked good last night. He played well.
Matt Moore is not a bad backup quarterback.
He just couldn't outlast Aaron Rodgers.
Well, not too many
So
people
I'll take Kansas City here. I'll lay the 2.5. They're not going to lose 4 straight home games.
I would agree with you.
The Bears travel to Philadelphia. The Eagles are a 5-point favorite.
Mm.
I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I
5
kind of like
points.
the dog.
Yeah, I kind of like 5 points.
I think the Eagles win, don't cover.
Yeah, that's what I think.
3-point game.
Yeah, 3-4 points. The Bears have been getting, other than the Raider game, they've lost a lot of close games.
Correct.
They do enough to lose every week.
Right.
You know, that's kind of what they do.
They snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory.
Yes.
All right, the Colts travel to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh opens as a 1-point underdog at home. I like the Colts.
I like the Colts.
I think they're a really good team.
Yes.
Brissett's been good. They have a good defense. They got a lot of playmakers.
Yeah,
I
no,
like
the Colts are
Colts
going to beat them.
They're going to win the South there. And
yeah,
be
the Colts
kinda
are
dangerous in the
Colts are a
playoffs.
solid team.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to Seattle. 6.5-point line. I like the Seahawks
That's not
here.
enough.
Jameis Winston is just a turnover machine.
Yeah,
he's not
back
very good.
He's back to turning the ball over again, and
Shows glimpses of greatness, but not enough to
he's
beat
just
Seattle.
so inconsistent.
Seattle's defense isn't really that good, though. Matt Schaub kind of lit him up a little bit.
Yeah, but Russell Wilson this year has just been out of his mind.
Yeah, I mean, I like Seattle for that reason.
Yeah.
Detroit travels to Oakland. Oakland, a slim 2-point favorite.
I don't like Detroit. I don't like Detroit on the road at all.
I'm going to take Detroit here, though. I think that they're in the mix for this playoff race. I think they've had some tough losses. They had the tough tie in Week 1 against the Cardinals. They really kind of got screwed by the referees in that Monday night game against the Packers.
Well, the referees made up for it in the Giant game, without a doubt. I mean,
but I'll take the Lions as a dog there.
yeah, I would take the Raiders.
I really like Detroit there. Let me start that one up. That's my play. That's my play of the week here on Monday. Them and Kansas City. Those are the two I like the best so far. Green Bay travels to Los Angeles. The Chargers are a 3-point road favorite. So Chargers are a home dog. Chargers,
I
got
love the Chargers getting points at home.
I kind of do too.
Yeah,
I think the Chargers are really talented. But forever, I think they're well coached. I think Lynn is a good coach.
I just think again
I think
another
they
team
can run
that
the
plays
ball well with Eckler and Gordon, and they have Keenan Allen and Hunter Henry, and Rivers is pretty good. I think their best football's ahead of them. It wouldn't surprise me at all for them to string a couple wins together here and get back in the wild card race.
Yeah, no, I think I like San Diego in this spot. San Diego's a physical team.
That's a tough road stretch for Green Bay too, going at Kansas City, then at
yeah.
LA
Yeah,
Chargers.
those is very tough. I mean, San Diego is not well. Now they're LA, but they're not an easy team to beat at home.
Cleveland travels to Denver, and I love Denver as a home dog here. Denver getting 2.5 points. Joe Flacco is not going to play though.
Who's quarterbacking?
B. Allen. Frank, do you know who that is?
Who?
B. Allen.
B. Allen?
The guy yeah. On my gambling app here, it says Baker Mayfield against B. Allen.
B. Allen?
Who's B. Allen? Bruce Allen? Barry Allen, the Flash? Is he playing quarterback for the
B. Allen?
Yeah. His
Of the
first
Chargers?
of the Broncos.
Oh, Brandon Allen.
Who's that?
Apparently not Drew Lock.
Yeah, Drew Lock's not getting the nod.
Brandon, he's still hurt.
Who's Brandon Allen?
Brandon Allen was drafted in the 6th round in the 2016 NFL Draft.
I'm taking the Browns.
Where did he play?
He used to play at Arkansas. His previous 2 teams were the LA Rams.
I thought Kyle Allen played at Arkansas. Did he play at Arkansas too?
He also played at Arkansas. He was drafted by the Jags to
Brandon Allen.
to sit behind Blake Bortles and Chad Henne.
and then he gets claimed off the waivers by the Rams.
That's enough.
Sitting behind Goff and
That's
Sean
enough.
Mannion.
I'll take the
I
Browns.
think the Browns will get.
Yeah.
I think the Browns will get one here. I mean, good God.
Yeah.
I'll take the Browns.
It's amazing how like Jim Harbaugh is like a professional quarterback, like quarterback guru. He can't find a quarterback to play at Michigan. John Elway is one of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time, in my opinion. He can't draft a quarterback to save his life. I mean, what do you make of that? Like, how can you not be able to spot quarterback
Because
talent
the
if you're
problem,
John Elway?
The problem is
what are we
Denver is
doing?
never.
Probably that
Denver is never
helicopter play
that
messed him
bad.
up.
Denver is not that bad that they could ever get high
Would they
enough in the
take Locke
draft.
in the second round?
Yeah, Drew Lock was a second-round pick, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, that they haven't even been able to develop a quarterback.
And then you got a really, really good Sunday night game. New England Patriots traveling to Baltimore, take on the Ravens. Line opened at 6.5 in favor of the Patriots, so it's down to 3.5. Baltimore, a
I would
3.5 point home dog.
I would take the Patriots.
I
gotta disagree.
I love Lamar Jackson.
I got to disagree with the. I got to disagree with the public this time. I think at 3.5, that's not enough.
I tend to agree.
I mean,
and Belichick eats these young quarterbacks for lunch.
And the other problem is that when you take a look at Baltimore, they lost that game at home to the Browns. They got their brains beaten. I mean, Baltimore is more than capable of losing these kind of games. You know,
Against the Patriots? Of course.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, this is the first time they faced Lamar Jackson, correct?
I think so.
Okay. You don't think Belichick isn't going to have all kinds of crazy defenses that he's never seen before?
Big time.
Yeah. I mean, they are not going to let him run all over the place.
I agree with you. I would take the Patriots too, but
I
like Lamar Jackson. I think he's a good player. And I like watching the Ravens play a lot.
I do too, but I question their ability to score enough points. I really do, because I think the Patriots will take away his running game, him running the football, and make him sit back there and try to throw, and I don't know if that's going to work.
And then the Monday night game, we'll be watching that game live in the Real Talk Studios next Monday. Your New York Giants, a 7-point home dog to the Dallas Cowboys.
I'll take the 7 points.
Do you like the Giants plus 7?
Yes, I do.
Do you think there's any chance for us Eagles fans, if they beat Chicago on Sunday afternoon, that we can watch your Giants kind of pull an upset on the Dallas Cowboys here?
You never know, Rob. They lost to the Jets, didn't they?
Well, Saquon Barkley is going to have a stellar game.
Well, tell me that Sterling Shepard's going to be back, and
I don't know. Is he going to be? You tell me.
Well, he's
had a concussion.
He's had a concussion. I don't know if he's coming back or not.
They have Ingram. I mean, I'd take the Cowboys.
-7?
Yeah.
It's a lot on the road, though.
It is.
I mean,
the Giants, they stink.
No, I know they stink, but I think they're going to get up for the game.
Sixers making a run. 3 minutes to go. Down 2. Big slam by Joe Embiid. Be interested to see what Trae Young, not happy with the officials there. I've really been impressed with Ben Simmons down the
I don't know what
time.
I don't know what they're complaining about.
I was really impressed in the Detroit game about how Ben Simmons closed the game. He closed the game,
and especially
very well.
without Joel Embiid, that's impressive.
But not having Joel Embiid this year isn't as bad, Frank.
Yeah, I know.
The burden, especially in that game, Horford helped a lot.
Yeah,
and Harris played good,
which is something that we needed.
This guy Nito from Brazil off the bench.
Yeah,
I like that guy. He made some good plays. I haven't seen him
Tell
much
you what,
in this
though,
game.
you know what? Give the Hawks a lot of credit. The Hawks are not a bad team.
The Hawks are coming.
Yeah, they are. They got a lot of good young players in their team.
All right, that'll do it for early leans. That'll do it for this edition of the Sports Hounds. Be back with you next week watching Giants Cowboys live in studio, reacting to hopefully an Eagles win over the Bears. Everything going on in the world of sports, we'll have it for you next Monday, 8 to 10 p.m., only on A2D Radio. Until then, have a good night, everybody.